Success or fulfillment will not happen by accident. There is no magic wand, there is no quick fix, but there are key principles I do really believe that are going to be able to help you and help me be able to achieve the life that we want to be able to achieve. Because it's my intention to be able to live a beautiful life, to be able to live a good life, to be able to live a life that I really admire with how I showed up and how it actually played out as well. And it's my hopes, and I get that little spidey sense feeling that that's what you want as well, which is why I want to share with you in this episode what the 5 key principles are. Now, there are plenty more principles, but I'm going to share with you 5 in this episode that I think are really profound. Now, when searching online or on YouTube and looking for self-help and self-development advice, there is a lot of junk, I've got to admit, that is out there. And it was through doing a little bit of research that I stumbled upon some stuff that I just really disagreed with. One example being a video that said, there's nothing you can't have or achieve in life if you're willing to work for it. Now, I completely disagree. There is a metric shit ton of things that you can work your absolute ass off, you can bleed through your forehead, and that you'll still not achieve. And that sort of advice is only going to lead to you having more suffering in life and really you just being super hard on yourself. And I believe one of the best ways to be able to do this is to be able to have alignment in what it is that your values are for how it is that you actually show up in life as well. So for me, it's understanding what are your values, and from your values, you are able to be able to craft your principles, and it's your principles in life that are really your compass points. These are the things that help you navigate the waters as you go through life, hopefully, and with the intention of getting to where it is that you want to be able to go. Doing it in the way of not just getting to the end outcome or the destination that you're wanting to go to, but I think more importantly, doing it in the way that is best going to suit you and it is what your truth is. So last night I was really thinking about this and how profound and important and powerful and just useful these principles have been. And I've kept a list in my phone for a really long time. I've been collating these lists and being able to see what has best worked for me. And when I apply it, is it actually being useful? And things that I put on the list that I found are not useful and I've taken them off. I believe if you can just start to use these 5, even just starting with 1 from today, you'll see a far greater impact in your life. The first principle I want to be able to share with you today is do less, do it better, do it with love. For me, when I think about it, I want to be able to do less. For me, far too many times I found that there is just too many things that I've been going out after. And when I have been able to cultivate and create and simplify and being able to get to simplicity really through kind of the thought of, you know what, there is addition through subtraction. I get more out of life when I'm actually subtracting and taking things away, getting to the core essence, getting to the gestalt of what is really important at the end of the day, and then being able to not just have less there, but being able to do it better. The things I am doing, I'm being able to put my whole absolute essence and my energy and my effort behind what it is that I'm wanting to be able to do, and that being so important. And then doing it with love. And then doing it with what I feel like is love, but a part of love is being able to have curiosity and having integrity behind what it is as well, which is why I say love, because I feel like love has that curious element to it. It has that integrity to what it is needs to be there as well. And the second principle that has been just really important for me, and it's funny because I haven't talked about it for a reason, which you'll find out in a second, which is do 1 kind act per day and tell no one. The idea is just installing, creating, almost really cultivating the character trait of being kinder, being a better person. Don't you think that that's a good thing for us to be able to do? But doing a kind act, at least 1 per day, focusing 1 kind act of really being able to help somebody else out there in the world. And don't tell anyone. There is no need to tell anyone that you've actually done that kind act, because then it's only you wanting to be able to get more of the good feels. And I feel like the good feels should just come from you cultivating within yourself that sense that you did good, and that's just who you are. That's just what you do. And that's just how you show up in the world. And that's fantastic. There's no need to go out and to be able to get outside gratification for what it is that you do. So do 1 kind act per day and tell no one. The third principle is stop seeking external light for yourself and see that you can light your own lamp. This again kind of relates to the second principle, but I think gets to where it is in all areas and all parts of what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day level. Stop looking outside and making sure that, oh, that person needs to make sure that they see the good in me and they're telling me that I'm good and that I'm doing good. But being able to cultivate that responsibility for yourself of knowing that you are doing good and you're staying true to your values, to your virtues for how it is that you're moving yourself through life as well. Because for me, when I started to look for that outside gratification, looking too much for what other people were saying, it was also a very slippery slope to start playing the victim as well and then giving up responsibility. So by me claiming back my responsibility, letting go of playing the victim, by having a very great sense of truth to myself, then I'm able to then be able to move forward in life. And that doesn't say, like, there is a caveat to this as well. It doesn't say you're not looking for outside advice, for critiques from other people as well. That is very important, especially taking it from the right people as well. But it's cultivating first the sense of yourself, of being able to stand strong within yourself, to then being able to know what is true to yourself and are you showing up in your life as best as you can. The fourth principle, I want to back up firstly with two quotes that I keep very fresh of mind. I never said a word, everyone heard what they needed to hear. And then second, a Marcus Aurelius quote, waste no time arguing what a good man should be one. Those two quotes for me get straight to the point of be the change that you want to be and stop looking to change everything else outside of yourself, out in the world and what other people are doing. And again, taking that back in, looking upon myself and being like, how do I best show up? What are the things that I'm doing that aren't of best? How is it that I can better serve others as well? Because I really believe that a big part of what life is at the end of the day is we need to show up. And this is the funny thing. It's kind of like we are most ourselves when we're not there. And for me, that again kind of points to the serving. It points to be the change, be the person I need to be that then best affects the world outside of me. The fifth key principle is let go of suffering. And again, it comes back with a quote from the Buddha that I want to be able to share with you. As long as there is attachment to the pleasant and diversion to the unpleasant, liberation is impossible. Liberation is impossible. Now, if that sounds a little bit too woo, a little bit too Buddhist, a little bit too spiritual for you, that's perfectly fine. But I tell you what, if a bearded up, tatted up, meathead of a dude like myself can really take profound insight from this, I've got high hopes that you can too as well. And that is a case of liberation, of being able to have the complete light. And I'm not talking about enlightenment right now. I'm going to take this back a couple of steps and say, how do we just show up and how do we have the greatest life that we possibly can, having more peace and harmony within ourselves as we go through this? And that is letting go of the things that are going to cause the suffering as well. If we have too much of an attachment to the things that we think are going to give us our pleasures and our desires, and we're trying to avoid the things that are going to cause our pain too much, then that is only going to cause us greatest pain and suffering. And so that is let go of the suffering, let go of those things as well, and be more willing to ride the wave of life. For me, I see the imagery of a wave. And the thing is, the only way that you can have a wave is if you have a crest. The only way you can have a crest though is you have a trough. And that's life. There's going to be the good and the bad. There's going to be the ups and the downs. There's going to be the ins and the outs. That's natural. That's the natural part and flow to life as well. So being willing and open and surrendering and accepting those ups and downs that come with it, so that you're not getting this massive joyful high that's so ecstatic and amazing, but then when it goes away that you start feeling discomfort and displeasure. But then when you go down and you have bad times in life, that's when you just start to hit rock bottom and you're in a tremendous amounts of pain. God knows I've been there before as well. And by letting that go as much as possible, again, not that I'm perfectly there, I'm wanting to work and practice through that, there becomes more of a harmony. Crests and the troughs aren't as wide and apart from each other. We can start to bring them down. We can have more of a harmonious flow with each other as well. And that only really comes, I believe, through letting go of that suffering as well. So when we think about these 5 key principles that have been so useful, so practical, so actually a great way to be able to help myself navigate through life, I want you to be able to use these as well. I want you to be able to pick up what I'm putting down in this episode, and I want you to be able to use what you can. Don't take it all. Do never, ever, ever take, or especially me, but anyone's advice as absolute rock solid things that you must use in your life. No. All this is I want you to have a little bit of an investigation. I want you to have a little bit of curiosity into it, and through that curiosity, there becomes awareness, and through awareness, there becomes investigation. That investigation is, well, what is Chris saying right now that I can use today? What is one thing that I can take away from this? Can I apply 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of these principles today to be able to best show up for yourself? That is the thing that I really want to get across to you. That is the thing that I really want you to be able to apply for yourself, because then you're in power. You've always been in power, but maybe you've divvied it off, you've handed it off, you've let go of it. Well, time to pick it back up, time to be able to use it as well. That's the reason why I want to do this as well, why I want to put the time and effort to be able to share this with you. And I think that is the biggest thing that lights me up when others tell me that they're being able to use this with what I'm sharing as well. So I want to thank you for your time and attention in joining me. And I want to make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the show, if you're not following, please do so. Whether you're joining me on the podcast, whether you're watching me on YouTube, I want you to make sure on whatever platform, hit subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure you join with me and the rest of us, because as we grow together as a community, we're only helping each other rise. And I think that's really cool. That is something that gives me the good feels, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.